EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Valley of the Sun and State Farm Stadium here in Glendale. Coming up, we got a good matchup on tap here, as it'll be the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Cardinals offense ready to set up shop. First play from scrimmage. Here's Murray. He's got his tight end McBride on the out route.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
A good safe pass there right off the bat.
That's almost a rhythm play. That's what we like to call it. Get them into rhythm early, something safe, something they're confident about, something they feel good. And once that's completed, then you just keep moving from there because the confidence elevates.
And Connor going to pick up a Cardinals first down as he's up to the 40-yard line.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive linemen said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
On 1st and 10, here's Murray. Got his man, it's Dortch. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
Murray going to fire one out wide. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. If you're these receivers, you got to be ready because when he's going to throw it quick on that RPO, he's going to throw it quick.
And this is why you spend time with your guy either in the offseason, during the week, the whole bundle. Because sometimes it's just telepathy. You both see the same thing, and he knows get the ball to him right away.
Throwing on first down is Murray. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. Again, get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
2nd and 10. Now Murray again. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. That's already the 3rd time they've looked his way on this opening drive. He's caught 1 of the 3.
That doesn't mean they won't continue to go in that direction. It feels like they think they've got something good going there, and they think those numbers are going to increase.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. To throw is Murray. And he is stopped just short on 3rd down. Got 9 yards, but needed 10.
Thanks to his effort, they now have a big choice to make here. He just ran them into field goal range with that one, so here come the choices. Do they kick it here, or do they trust him to make another big play and possibly get a first down?
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. They're going for it. It's Murray. And he is going to have the Cardinals first down. And they get it easily. A gain of 5 on 4th and 1. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. So they convert on 4th, and now from just outside the 30, here's 1st and 10. To throw, it's Murray. Wilson's got it complete. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be 2nd down. Murray now to throw. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense, and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
They got to get it to the 21 here on third down. Again, they'll throw with Murray. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great play there. 27 yards. And the Cardinals will jump on top of the game's first score here this afternoon. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense. You can have a lot to handle in this one.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. And the LA offense ready for this next possession. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their own 18. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Pass complete there to Nakua. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Out of the gun, Stafford. Over the middle, complete. That's Williams. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. It's a gain of 11 and a 1st down, L.A. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Off of play action. Here's Stafford.
This one swung out to Williams.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Stafford looking to throw on 3rd and 1. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chains, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the 1st down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd down and a yard.
To throw is Stafford. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete. But prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, It is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line.
He had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but third and short, definitely was a great time to dial one up.
On first down, Stafford here. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
On second down, Williams. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
Stafford on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Rams are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. Up the middle, it's Williams. Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field.
Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Extra bulk up front for 2nd and inches. 3 tight ends.
They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
No, there certainly was a lot going on that play. Every option in the end zone covered. No place to go with the ball. Had to swing it out to the back. A good job running and getting him tackled in the open field.
And this one is right through.
So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got one touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
Screen pass to Connor. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
Murray going to try to throw on third down. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. Now a first down carry. It's Williams. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 22. Here's Stafford. And that's incomplete.
I can assure you, setting up a screen is much more difficult than it appears. It requires excellent timing from everyone on the offense, and the defense's #1 goal is to throw that timing off.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Now it's Stafford. And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Demarcus Robinson, a 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Rams have taken the lead.
It's never fun for a defense to run on the field knowing that they're having to defend a short field. Just the idea of trying to limit an offense in that position, daunting for a defense.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is now 10-7. The Rams kickoff team on the field, and here we go with the ball in the air. DJ Dallas to return it from his end zone. And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. Back in Arizona, second quarter action. It's the Cardinals in possession. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Been a little bit of an interesting start. The first drive for him, Charles, they had the passing touchdown. The second drive, he threw the interception. So we'll see what this third drive of the ball game brings.
Yeah, it's got a tiebreaker, isn't it? I mean, that's the tough part for them and for him because, yeah, things went really well in that first one, not so well on the second one. He wants to get back to what he did to get this game going.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
And this offense on third down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Here's Murray. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
Well, you can absolutely feel the thought process there. They just gave up the touchdown. So in the huddle, they're telling each other, you don't want to give it back now on a 3-and-out. Nice job of making sure that they wouldn't, and they pick up the first down.
Connor up the middle. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And Connor going to pick up a Cardinals first down as he'll be taken down at the 46.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 53 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. They've done a pretty good job containing him up until this drive, and until that run, there was no containing him at all.
Yeah, you're right about that. He finally popped free, but we didn't have to be in their practice sessions. We didn't have to be in their meeting rooms. They planned for a run like that to happen, maybe a couple of them. But what did they tell their guys all week? You know what they said. Move on to the next play. That one just happened. Let it go. He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
On second down, Connor looking for space. He's down inside the 10 to the 8, and it comes on a gain of 8.
The defense has been on the field a long time now, and after a run like that, they've got to feel like they're almost on roller skates and getting pushed backwards on just about every snap.
So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, oh, he's a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
They'll run here with Connor. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. James Conner. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Cardinals are once again back in front.
That's a great read down here near the goal line. Most defenses are keying in on Kyler Murray, knowing they likes to have the ball in his hands. But here he gives it up on the option, and that's a great call as it leads to a touchdown run.
Prater for the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And the Rams now coming out on the field.
So remember, Charles, last time they were out here, they scored, but they just saw the opposition score, and they're trailing right now, so they're trying to keep pace here. They need a touchdown drive.
Well, if you're a fan of offense, you're loving this, but if you're a fan of defense, this is tough to watch, and it's also tough to keep that up when you just watch your opponent march down the field on a scoring drive that lasts into double-digit snaps. You need a score here, not just to follow the momentum from your last drive, but put the onus back on your opponent. And that's what they're doing right now, swapping that onus back and forth.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Throwing is Stafford. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack.
Kaiser White, the former safety, gets the sack.
Even keeping the back in for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
Here comes the Rams punter now.
Greg Dortch back deep.
Fielded at the 33. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the #1 thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action, now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kept it on the ground. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Connor going to get it again on 2nd down.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
On 1st and 10, here's Murray. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
Throwing now is Murray.
That pass completed to Dortch.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot that they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go
touchdown, Cardinals.
James Conner.
He scored on the ground and through the air.
And the Cardinals are able to extend their lead. Well, forget about the weapons out wide. He knows he's got another weapon in the backfield of the passing game, Charles, and he utilized him perfectly on that play.
And the offense coordinator showed me something on that play, Brandon, because so often during a game, our cameras find them looking down at their play sheets, and you wonder if they're absorbing anything. He had something specific in mind, and he went to it, and it worked well.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick.
Taken at the goal line. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Rams ready to go on offense.
They'll look to make some inroads here, trailing 21-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 9. Pressure comes and the Cardinals bring him down. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. And he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. But the football back in the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 37. He'll start the drive with a give to Connor. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Now 2nd and 3. Here's Murray. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Facing 2nd and short, that gives you a chance to go for a bigger play through the air. But I think he said to himself, why not just handle this one? Got all the yards he needed and then some, and made that snap a huge success.
1st down, Murray. Wide open receiver complete. And he's down into the red zone at the 15 after a gain of 15. 1st and 10.
Well, one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
On 1st and 10 is Connor. He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
Well, it wasn't much of a gain, but we're getting near the 2-minute warning, so maybe they just want to get to that point, regroup, and decide what they want to do the rest of the half.
Second down, Murray sets to throw. Got his tight end, that's complete. It's McBride down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. To throw, it's Murray. Now they go screen. It's complete. Touchdown! James Conner on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as his guys were able to push that lead out a bit further. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting runs so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw. Stafford. He's got Higbee complete right side. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on 3rd down. Stafford now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Stafford. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air, and defensively, they were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Stafford. That'll be caught by Cup. And, boy, he is very close to a 1st down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They gave up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
On 4th down, Stafford. Over the middle, that's hauled in by Cup. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. So the 4th down conversion has him inside the 40 now, 1st and 10. To the air again, Stafford.
He's got Cooper Kupp on the slant.
And that's good for a gain of 6, and that'll make it 2nd down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. He was true on his first. This a tough one from 49 yards away. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and that'll get the deficit down to 15.
So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away.
So we reach halftime here in Glendale with the Cardinals on top. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Rams offense ready to begin quarter number 3. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Again, it's Williams. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here comes the Rams punter now as he's on to kick it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. The drive will start with Connor. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37.
Well, if you like the guys who run the ball, you're enjoying watching this. But the other guys, especially the defense coordinator, trying to figure out an answer on how to slow down the running game, I think maybe starts to call more blitzes because you can call run blitzes in order to try and get more people to the point of attack.
They fake the handoff. Now Murray. His throw incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Now Murray. And that is incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. On the return is Williams. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Rams getting set to go now.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Play action. Stafford.
Going to be taken in here by Nakua.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. Throw left side, complete to Cup.
And Cup going to pick up a Rams first down as he gets this up past the 40.
9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Meanwhile, Stafford's throw pulled in by Robinson here.
And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. First down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams.
He's got it to the 43 here.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
60 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3-and-out.
On 1st and 10, Stafford.
And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford.
And that one too wide and incomplete.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Here's Stafford. And that will be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
So on 4th down, Sean McVay going to send out the field goal unit. On the left hash mark, this a 38-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good, and they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
The Rams kickoff team on the field, and here we go with the ball in the air.
This taken in at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. They've got to right the ship. They had a great first half, but the lead has really gone down. Now, you always talk about the adjustment to the adjustment. They've got to adjust right here.
And I think a lot of it is just mentally. Get back to doing what you were doing well in the beginning of the game, but a lot of that is playing with that emotion and that sense of pride and fire that sometimes goes away a little bit when you build up a lead. You think you've got it going, and you also think at any moment I can go ahead and go back to the way it was before. You and I both know it's not that easy once you get off the gas a little.
Yeah, they don't want to see this lead diminish anymore. Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. They run behind center with Connor. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. A gain of 10, first down, Arizona.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Again, it's Connor. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd down and 2.
All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
He certainly did his best to find something on that run, but there just wasn't enough time to make it happen. Nice effort there, avoiding the sack and getting back to the line of scrimmage. That one certainly could have ended up worse.
The Rams go nickel here defensively on 3rd.
And they'll try and run the option to pick it up.
Well, he's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. The defense stiffens to force 4th down following that first down gain of 8.
Well, he's had success running the football in this one. Yeah, that's undeniable. But that time, the defense was on to it.
And, partner, I think the more you see a play like this, the more they're able to diagnose it quicker and easier for them to defend it. I think you have to dress it up a little bit and show maybe some different formations and looks.
A 40-yard punt, no return.
The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field.
And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Kaiser White, and they will take over at the 26-yard line.
They'll start with the option.
That'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
From the 21, here's 2nd and 5.
Throwing now is Murray. He's got McBride here over the middle. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. This will be caught at about the 5. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. Second and goal from inside the 5. Murray now. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cardinals take advantage of the field position on the turnover to cash in for 6. Now Prater to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead.
Play smart, baby. That's right, baby. Play it to the whistle. Let's do our thing. Let's do our thing. Get it going, baby. Let's go, man. Straight up. Let's go. Play a little aggressive, baby. Give it some.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And able to get this out to the 25. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
To throw on second down is Stafford. He'll get this one to Kupp, complete.
And Kupp going to pick up a Rams first down as he'll be brought down at the 38-yard line.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. The start for them near flawless. Defense gets them a 3-and-out, 2 quick pass connections on offense.
So that's how a team works together. Just what you described. Get them the ball, give them a little momentum, and they're capitalizing off of that. Thanks a lot, guys.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's second down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
From just shy of midfield, here's 2nd and 9.
To throw is Stafford. And his pass incomplete.
Yeah, offenses always try to be smart about when they're trying to dial up a screen to the running back, because they understand you can only go to the well so many times in a game without the defense starting to anticipate the call.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Stafford. And he comes back with one complete. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back to the desert. We're in Glendale. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the fourth quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
To throw, it's Murray. A short one here, caught by McBride. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
From the 39-yard line, here comes second down at 6. Running right on the option is Murray.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
On third down, it's Connor. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. Here's Williams to return. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over.
Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10.
At their own 20-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Open man, Higbee, the tight end. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 35. 23 yards the pickup there.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them, go with the screen, and they're able to get the first down.
Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
Looked like they were set up defensively in a zone coverage, but somehow they found a seam because that receiver all alone. By rights, that should have been a touchdown, but somehow this ball's overthrown.
Here's Stafford now on second down. That's complete to Robinson. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Stafford on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And his kick is good. And that'll get the deficit back to 16. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still got to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
The Rams kickoff team on the field, and here we go with the ball in the air.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Cardinal offense takes back over. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Murray. And the Rams got him. They bring him down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down. Well, there was 2nd long, now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
97 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. Oh, and a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch.
Another first down, this time on a gain of 19.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
A toss to the wide side. This is Williams. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Second down and a yard.
They run it again with Williams. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to first and goal. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Give him 4 on the carry there at second and goal.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in? Instead, look at a little more of a scat back type, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they went with the elusive, slippery guy. Couldn't get in there, though.
Williams will score. Touchdown, L.A. So this back now to a 10-point spread, and you have to imagine they'll line up and go for 2.
Oh, no question about it. If they can get this to an 8-point game, they can make things awfully interesting here in these last few minutes.
A big play coming now for the Rams as they'll go for 2. Stafford's going to try and throw for it. And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it. A very pivotal 2-point try that does not go their way. Now it's a big uphill battle for the rest of the fourth quarter.
The attempt was to try and make it a 1-score game, right? Touchdown, get 2, and now you've tied it up. Instead, they don't get it, still down 10.
Let's go do this thing, baby. They can't beat us straight up. I bet you want it, boss. Let's do it. Y'all got time. Let's go. Come on, time to play. And take a shot now. Let's go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's play. Let's play.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the Cardinals' hands team able to secure the football. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
140 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Well, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal.
Murray a give. This is Connor.
And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown.
James Conner.
A 10-yard touchdown run.
And the Cardinals are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game.
Sometimes you get a first and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on first down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Let's go, baby. Turn it up. There we go. There we go. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Find the goal, baby. You got all right. You got him now. That's what it is. That's what it is, baby.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25.
And the L.A. offense ready for this next possession. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Stafford on first down. And it's incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford.
And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, he left no doubt about that one because even though he hasn't left the pocket, he's got a receiver in the area, so it's not grounding, even though there's no way that ball was going to be caught.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing again is Stafford. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Looks like they're going to keep throwing till the bitter end. This one's long since over, but give them credit. They're going to go down fighting. That one, incomplete.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
That is caught, and he is going to have the Rams first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters, and this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th, but a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
15 yards there for number 15. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On first down, Stafford here. That's complete to his tight end, Higbee. A strong broken tackle on that one. And then they get him to the ground just shy of the 15. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
He'll drop this down to Williams.
And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. Now it's Stafford. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
I think this is what this game's become now. Just go deep, see if we can get something to go our way.
Yeah, not the most creative or most inventive play call there, but not much has worked for them throughout this game. They're almost at a loss about what to dial up.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Stafford looks to throw again. That is caught at the 7-yard line. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. And the old...
Did he get the feed down? Yes! Touchdown!
Cooper Kupp
from 6 yards away.
And the Rams have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And the Cardinals have got it. So that should just about put an end to this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. Now we'll get whistles, and they've signaled for a timeout. Not sure I see the logic in this, but we'll get a stoppage anyway with 5 seconds remaining.
To a knee goes Murray, and that should just about do it. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Cardinals as we say so long from Glendale.